I have no idea what we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen. And so this will be fun and new. And so we'll see. There we go. Yeah, look at that. There it is. Let's see. Do they do it? Hold on. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what. Oh, look at that. Oh, YouTube is crushing it. Look at that. What an absolute king among men. What an amazing app. YouTube. So since we're not allowed to use. What's up, Negan? How is life? And so since we're not allowed to use copyright music here on YouTube, I have already pre-made music because it's big down below. And so we are going to talk on here. So fuck TikTok, that communist piece of shit. Holy fuck. What a garbage dump. Yeah, we could actually talk here. I can smoke on camera. What do you think about that? I can say the hard R. I can call people fucktards. This is great. That's right, I made some Israeli techno music. You ready? Ja, was ist falsch, Krieger? Wie geht's es Ihnen? What's up, America? Yeah, fuck TikTok, communist fucktards. Hey, what's up, America? How's everybody doing? You know what? We can talk a little freer here. Islam is not going to be good for the world. What are you doing, everybody? I can say it. Look at that. Hey, that's my thoughts and opinions. Really coming out, isn't it? Yeah, what's up, America? I don't know how it works here. Thumbs up it, shard it, whatever it is. Is it, can you double heart? I have no idea. I haven't been on this app for years doing this. So we'll find out after I get through my Israeli trance that I made. Sounds like a fucking anime begin. What's up, America? So we've got plenty to talk about here when it comes to the news. Holy shit. But as you know, TikTok is a dumpster fire. What's up, Mike? TikTok is a dumpster fire, right? So now that we're off site, yeah, I know, I'm not a big fan either, but so now that I'm off site, let me just say what's going on here because that piece of shit website or app will fuck us over here. So what's going on is on TikTok, Negan is the king. Thank you, my friend. It's my first live gift ever. Hell yes. So what's going on TikTok is they're falsely saying that people are sending you off site. So if I, for instance, say, oh, I saw this video on YouTube, they're doing that. So what I was doing was reading the news, and I said the word Associated Press. And by saying the word Associated Press, TikTok said I was sending people off site, so it was restricted. So now, that's fine. They can take it because YouTube's not as bad as TikTok. Trust me, I've been off and on YouTube for 15 years. I know what you can and can't in some ways say. They're better than TikTok. Fuck TikTok, right? So what they're doing is if I say, thank you, Birdie. If you say, hey, for instance, I fucking was on Associated Press and I'm telling you the news, TikTok's saying that you're sending them off site, so they're restricting you. People have told me that they're doing that to lots and lots of people and for no reason. So what happens is I'll say like, oh, I saw this YouTube video. They say it's restricted because I'm sending people off site. Of course, I'm not. So when you appeal it within 30 seconds, it is not approved. The appeal's not approved. And so they obviously no one's looking at it. So the algorithm is falsely determining that you're sending people off site. And on top of that, it's saying that pretty much, well, even under report, our algorithm sucks so much shit. Thank you, Kitten, that there's no way that we can actually make this work. So until TikTok gets its shit together, I think we should come over here. I'm already banned for the rest of the week on the big account with 200,000 followers. So I'm going to start making a series of videos on both TikTok pages. TikTok is banning people because if you say this news site, their algorithm says you're sending them off site. And so they restrict it. And I know I can still go live under restriction, but you'll never be seen. And that's the point because they purposely attack conservatives. It's like the other day I said, I believe that Europe was under threat from illegal immigration. And they said that was hate speech and misinformation. Of course, it's not. If you have a brain, you can see what's going on, but they don't give a fuck. And of course, TikTok, in my opinion, is kind of on the death throes. So before I get into the news, I just want to tell you the experience I've been dealing with at TikTok, why you should come here to YouTube, why you should follow me on YouTube, get your friends to come over here. Said booger and was banned. You see, that's the shit I'm talking about. So if you're on TikTok, tell your friends, come here, follow me, follow IB Negan here on fucking TikTok as well, because I know IB Negan's in the chat. Get him followers, follow him here. Let's make this shit. TikTok's in a death spiral. They're on, fuck them. It's a piece of shit communist app. They have no bearing. They only support Islam, trans shit, and fucking Democrats. Everything else is banned. We know what it is. So that's how life is. So we need to get this app right here, YouTube, propped up. It's better. I know people have criticisms, but trust me, like I said, I've been off on here. I've always, what's up, John? What's up, BG? And so even though I'm a fan of TikTok's like low key, this app has always been better for me, right? I've been able to talk more freer, do more stuff on it. And so that's what's going on. And so now, without any further ado, let's get into the news. By the way, are you allowed to take guests on here? I don't know much about live streaming vertical on YouTube. I've only done it once or twice. So if you're allowed to take guests, we need to get into debates on here. I want to start being the conservative Parker, get a job on YouTube. But if you can't, whatever. So let's go back to, I don't know how to follow people. The only thing I can do is subscribe. You have to subscribe here on YouTube. That's why on TikTok, at the end of my live streams, I always say, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and hit the notification button, because I've been saying that for a great deal of time on YouTube. I used to have a channel on here with about 60 or 70,000 followers back in 2016, but I had a series of very offensive videos that I would make that would be considered verboten now. In retrospect, nothing, if you tap their name, nothing. Oh, that's nice. So in retrospect, I probably went overboard back in the day, but I'm glad to try it again because, well, fuck TikTok, frankly. That communist app can't be trusted, and YouTube has always been better. So I guess I'd say shark the live stream, but whatever. So let's get into this. We need to get, I have no idea what I'm doing. That's kind of what it is. YouTube, I'm a moderate expert. I have a YouTube play button from earlier from a different channel. So like I said, I've been here for years and years and years. Pray, inspiration. Also, I can show, can't I show my gun on here too? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I could show you my gun on here too. I can say gun. I can say gun. Yeah, I could say gun. Look at this. Look, okay, listen to this. Gun, rape, kill. What else can I say? Fucking illegal alien. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun to be able to talk like a man and my dick's not cut off and thrown into a sandwich for someone to eat? You're not, okay, I'm not going to show it. I know you can make videos. I have a video up here of my Bursa. You're right, though. I won't show it on live stream, but I do have a Bursa 380. It's fantastic. So, double stack 16+1, of course. Thank you, Eric. So the first thing we're going to talk about, and I was talking about it earlier on TikTok before I was so rudely interrupted with false restrictions from my one of my people I knew back in the day that's stalking me. She's a little piece of shit, and so is her little friend that lives on the couch. Oh, very nice with the Kimber. Holy shit, it's been a long time since I've heard anybody with one of those. That's a type of gun. So Elon Musk says Trump should be impeached as he drags J.D. Vance into spat. And Donald Trump says that Elon Musk should be deported. So permanently banned. I spoke on live about special. Oh, that's nice. So Elon Musk has agreed Thursday that President Donald Trump should be impeached and replaced with J.D. Vance in their fiery falling out on Thursday. Ex-user Ian Miles Cheong wrote that President versus Elon, who wins? My money is on Elon. Trump should be impeached, says an ad popping up, and J.D. Vance should replace him, says Elon Musk. He also predicted that Trump's tariff policy would create economic turmoil, sending us into a recession by the end or middle of this year. So I don't know. I can't predict the future. look, you want to know my thoughts on this? Because you know I'm a Trump person generally. The last month or so, I have not been seeing Donald Trump. Don't show your fog machine. The last month is, hell yeah, John, what's up, America? Is he a moderator too?
No, he's a member.
Okay, good. And so the last month or so, I haven't been seeing Donald Trump. What I've been seeing is, sup, Negan? What I've been seeing is a compromised Donald Trump being led by his nose by Scott Bessent. That's what I've seen. So if you want to know who what? Thank you, SJF. So what I've seen is Scott Bessent, who is a Soros appointee, been basically trying to sabotage the Trump administration. What's up, Christina? How you doing, King or Queen? King. Sorry, what's up, America? And seeing that's the case, I'm very perturbed by Donald Trump's behavior. This all started for me with the student loan thing. Now, we've talked about this for a little while, and I'm going to die on this hill. This is not the appropriate time to come after people for student loans. Now, I know people on TikTok have shit for brains. They're violent. They're evil, whatever it is. They have something wrong mentally with them. But everybody will pay your loans. Da, da, da. What's up, America? What's up, Amber? And so everybody knows right now that under Joe Biden, we had a very tough time surviving. It's not hard to see. I'm going to say it again. Sorry, I'm rolling one here. Prices were double on rent. Prices were double on housing. Food costs are double. Gas prices are double. And I'm not saying that Donald Trump has given up on the American people. Quite the opposite. But what I am saying is that his decision-making when it comes to the financial future of the United States is largely being influenced by a George Soros appointee named Scott Bessent. Now, Howard Lutnick, right? If you know who he is, Howard Lutnick is a billionaire, but he's what's called a Main Street billionaire, meaning he champions small business. What's his face? Scott Bessent, on the other hand, unfortunately, is a Soros appointee, was in charge of the Black Monday fiasco out of the Bank of England, etc., and does not need to be anywhere near financial planning here in the United States, because that, my friends, would generally involve currency manipulation. But we all know what the deal is, and like I said, it seems to me that Donald Trump, the person that we voted for, has... What's up, Dayton? I'm in Indianapolis, and I know trust the process. I've heard it, and I do trust it in certain ways, but not with the Soros appointee. That's what has my hackles up. This all started with me, because you know me. You know I voted for Trump. That's what it is. But this all started with the student loan thing. I knew that wasn't Donald Trump. I knew it wasn't the day it came out. They said, we're going to go hard on student loans. Well, I'm sure that a lot of these investors have something to do with Sally Mae, or what is it now, Nelnet, right? And so there's something involved there. Anybody with a brain would realize after 4 years of Joe Biden, we need... Oh, I think so, Nana. And anybody would realize with a brain that after 4 years of dealing with Joe Biden, that there's no way the American people would be able to just get off their ass and start paying student loans. And basically the commentary on this, which really bothers me out of the big thing, is they're saying, and this was the press secretary, which bothers me on this, is saying that pretty much you're a deadbeat if you don't pay your student loans. But in the same, not even the same breath, in the same couple of weeks before, saying that fucking people can't afford anything because of Joe Biden's policies. So 1 week you have people that are in Donald Trump's cabinet saying that, hey, people can't afford to eat and that's Joe Biden's fault. And then the next week they come up and say, but you better pay your student loans or we're going to fucking garnish your wages. So in one breath, you say that no one can afford to eat or survive in the United States. Then on the next breath, you say, pay up or we'll come after you, bitch. Well, that's a problem because now you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. How can people pay their student loans when the main reason they weren't paying them in the first place was because, guess what? Joe Biden fucked everybody financially. And I know what you're saying. Well, it wasn't Joe Biden, it was the companies. It was a mix. Don't be disingenuous here. We know it wasn't just Joe Biden. We know it wasn't just fucking companies. It was companies gouging, taking advantage of Joe Biden's dumb shit. And Elon Musk is right on this. We need a new political party because now what they're saying is, well, we understand it's a hardship for American citizens, but kind of fuck you, pay up, right? And then we'll just, rake you over the coals. Hold on, I got to fucking... They need to be paid, but yeah, exactly. It's back burner, exactly. And that's why a lot of people weren't paying them because when they couldn't afford food for their kids, they said, fuck student loans. Hold on, I got to get black shit off my thumb. Because it's... God damn. That shit is on there. You know it?
Uh-huh.
It will not come off. Jesus, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate some weed, but Jesus Christ. Look, I don't have to say green or recreational. But yeah, so it's the wrong time for Donald Trump to implement this student loan shit. I think we all know that. Hell yeah, she is, Pro King. And I think we all know that it's the wrong time. And so then you say, well, I am happy that Donald Trump is meeting with Xi Jinping. That's the news that we're going to get into here. That was just announced. So that's, you always have to wash your hands after wiping. Never! Absolutely not. But yeah, it is a distraction. The big news today, and of course this will fizzle out within, 3 or 4 days at most. This whole thing will be over. Of course, now Elon Musk has gone on X, or Twitter. I could say that here on this app because fuck TikTok. What's up, Ruthie? And Elon Musk was going on there now saying Donald Trump was a prominent visitor of, hell yeah, Mabel Cat. And was saying that Donald Trump basically was at Epstein Island partying with the young girls. And so that's what Elon Musk was alluding to. Unfortunately for Elon, well, he doesn't care because he's got billions of dollars. But that right there looks like a lawsuit waiting to happen, don't you think, honey? I mean, that's just a lawsuit waiting to happen right there. So I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk, I take it fuck TikTok. Jesus Christ. So yeah, they have been evil as fuck. I'm not banned on it or anything. It's just there's no point in going live there anymore. So more than likely, most or all of my live streams will probably be done here on YouTube, if that's okay. I know a lot of you are on TikTok. You like going on there. It's your thing. It's an addictive thing. I understand. But the censorship is much more out of control just since July or June 1st. And so whatever they did on June 1st, what's up? Hell yeah, everybody's here. I love it. And so whatever TikTok did on June 1st is absolutely fucked up. Hell yeah, BG. And so there's no point in even being there. I hate to say it too because it's technically a fun app. But, I mean, look what you got here. I mean, this is, yeah. Well, I ventured over when you said you were coming here. Hell yeah, Amber. What's up, America? Well, TikTok's just a fucked up piece of shit, man. Their algorithm is froggy. If they're going to keep doing that shit and restricting people for sending you off site falsely, and then every time you fucking appeal it, it's not approved in 10 seconds, it's obviously a problem with their system, so there's no point in doing it. And I know, when you guys gift me, I love it. The money is okay from time. Helicopter for your fans. And the money's good sometimes on it, and I understand I'll probably miss some of that. I always have Cash App and Venmo, and YouTube is just as good. I actually always liked YouTube better, frankly. Oh, Trump's not an idiot. Trump's not an idiot, trust me. Who's that?
Allie's there.
Oh, sorry, I'm... Well,
She says she can hear you talking and she can see you, but she can't view the comments and doesn't know how to fix it.
Tell Allie to...
Well, she can hear you.
The only thing I can do or say is either close it and come back, or you might have to change a setting if you have the comments and stuff off. Because I know on this one, you can turn a lot of that shit off. You got a lot more features with that. I'm still learning how to use it myself. Yep, there we go. We got that joint rolled. Look at that. We can say that. Isn't that great? This is what real free speech looks like is YouTube. I know a lot of people say, well, no, this is what it is. Trouble for mentioning Elon and Trump. Oh, that's nice. So the Elon and Trump thing is going off. Like I said, Donald Trump is basically saying Elon Musk should be deported. Elon Musk is saying Trump should be impeached. Elon Musk is saying Trump was at Epstein Island. The people that already know that already know it. And a top MAGA defector told the real reason Elon's plotting, and it could destroy Trump's legacy. And that's an exclusive story on the London Daily Mail. What's up, America? You got me on TV. Oh, what's up, Dan? Hey, it's my first TV appearance, baby.
Hey.
So what's up, America? So Caroline Leavitt now states that obviously she stands with Donald Trump, and Musk makes spiteful move against Donald Trump with the Epstein thing. And of course, Biden's White House doctor is now being forced to tell the truth about Joe Biden coming up here on Capitol Hill. So we'll be seeing a lot of testimony coming up here on whether Joe Biden was capable of running the country or not. Of course, Luigi Mangione is going to be tried. They're trying to get him for the death penalty, which is really fucked up. What's up, Mabe? You said hi. I have no... Oh, it makes the wave sign. What'd she say?
Well, there's a spot. I told her there's three dots at the top if you click.
Oh, yeah. So, and then a little piece of news here, and I'm going to get to the bigger news. American Pie star Jason Biggs, you remember him? Says that he had a dark battle with drugs and admitting snorting blow out of a trash can. That's how bad it got for him. So apparently the guy that was the main character in American Pie had problems. So Elon Musk says now that Republicans should side with him. And if you've been on X, Elon Musk has now said that we need a political party that represents us. Now, I 100% agree with Elon Musk on this effort here because we do need a third political party that doesn't suck total asshole. However, I don't know if the feud is real. That's the thing. On this case, I think it might be, but I think it started with Trump and what's that one guy? Trump's bulldog. What's his name? The guy, the bald guy. You know what I'm talking about? Sorry, I can't think of the name right now. What is his fucking name?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Put it in the chat. You know, the Miller. Stephen Miller. Thank you. Why can't I think of it? It's so common, that's why. And so Stephen Miller, I think that's where it started. Some people are saying that Stephen Miller punched Elon Musk in the face. He had a black eye. And then Stephen Miller, Elon Musk's woman or whatever it was. No, Stephen Miller's wife decided to work with Elon Musk and blow off her own husband. And so Elon Musk, yeah. Huh?
I thought him and his kid were playing, and that's how I got the black eye.
No, that's what he said. That's bullshit. Yeah. So Stephen Miller is left-handed, and he had it on the side where he would swing, or they were saying. And then Elon Musk, or Stephen Miller's wife, left that guy working with them to go work with Elon Musk. Yeah, so I would be pissed off. Yeah, it is fucked up. No, you're okay, my friend. And so Musk, his stock, it went down 8%. Now he says that Donald Trump was on the Elon Musk files. Elon Musk says that Trump needs to be impeached. And it's happening right now as the bromance between Musk and Trump are starting to fail. And we have Trump alleges sexual provocations graphically detailed in new Epstein documents. So apparently those will be out here coming up shortly. So now we have some new news when it comes out to what's going on in the border. Comment in here if you think this is a good idea. The federal government is now searching your phones at the border to make sure that you're not an extremist before you come in. They're calling it enhanced screening to make sure terrorists aren't coming in. Yet again, another word I can say here that I can't say on TikTok. Terrorist, which that's a word. They're calling it enhanced screening. The ACLU, of course, is saying it's a security and privacy breach. What's up, Nostalgic Views on Earth? Don't forget to thumbs up this stream and let me know if you think the United States is turning into a mass techno surveillance state. Now, I was going to put that video on TikTok. What I'm going to do here on YouTube also is put my TikTok videos on here. Then, of course, also I will be, I will also be putting news on here and stuff that is not on here. So I'll be having liberals going nuts and all this other shit. So President Trump and his former star advisor Musk have accelerated the deployment of vast technological infrastructure that monitors the lives of millions of people. The system is focusing on immigration at this point. However, the ACLU and other people are stating worrying new trends in techno surveillance and mass unauthorized scanning of social media implemented by Elon Musk, used right now during the Trump administration. So that's perturbing because I don't like to be watched on social media except for when I'm making fun of Parker, Dean, and Harry. And if you go on my X page at Hello America Sup there, you can see me talking mad shit to all of them. Anyway, up into and including very poignant attacks. So, massive unauthorized scanning of social media, analysis of biometric income, health, and social security data, interception of telephone communications per the Patriot Act and FISA courts, geolocations via mobile devices, tracking of car journeys using license plate readers, which they've been doing in Texas to arrest people that were getting abortions. Since Donald Trump returned to the White House, the United States government has been using these and other tools based on artificial intelligence to monitor and persecute thousands of people without judicial authorization, mostly immigrants, and foreigners passing through, or students. In the last 4 months, Trump and his former star advisor, Elon Musk, have, along with the private sector, Legacy? Hell yeah, what's up, my friend? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, don't forget to hit that sharp, or like because I don't know, you can't double tap here, can you? You can only thumbs up? Okay, well, thumbs up and share as much as you can. Ron says that is Legacy. What is up, my friend? How you doing? Yeah, TikTok is fucked, dude. I need to start doing lives here way more. That app will be good for videos, but kind of fuck that app for live streaming. Those people have shit for brains. The moderators of TikTok have fucking shit for brains. There's no question about it. So anyway, mostly immigrants and foreigners passing through in the last 4 months. Trump and his former star advisor, Elon Musk, have, with the private sector, accelerated the deployment of massive techno surveillance state. And for the first time in history, Washington is boasting about it rather than denying its existence. I don't think so. You can tap the heart to the right. Oh, you can tap the heart to the right. Thank you, Negan. Okay, my wife found it. Tap the heart to the right. See, Negan knows what time it is. Fuck yeah, man. See, I need to learn this app. Surveillance in the United States didn't begin with Trump, nor will it end. But Donald Trump is normalizing it, according to the English ElPaso.com, about military, law enforcement, and border patrol, including looking into people's houses with Stingray surveillance systems now to find illegal immigration. Okay. Oh, okay, so you have been tapping. Hell yeah. What's up, America? And so this is my problem here. My whole problem with the surveillance state. So I understand what Donald Trump is saying is that you need to use surveillance to find out any of this bullshit. However, at the same time, the United States has generally been a surveillance state against its own people. It's been doing it since the 90s, arguably since the 50s if you go back to the McCarthy era, but I'm going to say really ramping up in the Clinton era and coming all the way to here. So now we have reports in Texas that states that they are using license plate readers to find people that are going to other states to get abortions so they can try to catch them either during or on the way somehow to arrest them. And so that happened out of Texas the other day. The video mode, you'll be landscape mode. You get more viewers on here in this video mode. That's what I was figuring. I'm not a big fan of the landscape except for the videos. And so what I'm worried about, and I've been worried about this a long time, whether you like Trump or not, is the growing surveillance state in the United States. This started with the Patriot Act, which of course needs to be revoked. Then they added Citizens United. They added FISA courts, which you've seen in the background for years. Now they're using electronic monitoring, facial recognition, blah, 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 blah. And these things all together make for the end of a free state and just going into a technocratic social state that's going to be backed by online, not even online, worldwide social credit systems. And so if you look at China and you see that their social credit system, it uses a series of points. This is what TikTok was doing also. So when you look at TikTok and you say, well, they have a threshold, like I'm kind of learning the threshold. And so on live streams, if you get like 25 or 30 restrictions, they'll ban you for longer, and then eventually you're gone. Same with the videos. They use a point system. It's the same with the Chinese government. If you say fuck the Chinese government and fuck Xi Jinping, Winnie the Pooh looking motherfucker, what they're going to say is that you're going to be banned. So they'll shame you on billboards. They'll restrict you from getting hotels, flying planes, or buses, trains, blah, 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 leaving the country. So the United States is going to do it, and England's already showing how the West is going to do this surveillance state where they'll come to your house for posts you've made online, arrest you. They arrested Tommy Robinson in England. China's doing the same thing, and of course the United States is going to be next. And Canada's already looking into it. Yeah, me too. This app needs, I like YouTube. I like this place better. We can say more. And so I'm really looking at the way the United States is going, and you have the Republicans and Trump and all this saying we need freedom, 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 blah, blah, blah. We're restoring freedom, restoring the Americas. We're getting our fiscal house in order. Oh, by the way, we're watching every fucking thing that you're doing. Hell yeah, what's up, Liv MK? We're watching everything that you're doing. And so that right there is one of my sticking points with Donald Trump. Actually, a couple is the student loan thing and the surveillance state. Now, of course, I can't. Our Lady of Greenwood started today, Mom said. Oh. Nice. And so, of course, I can't get behind any of that surveillance state bullshit that Donald Trump is going into. However, at the same time, decoupling from China, securing the border, making illegal immigration not so large, blah, blah, blah. That needs to be done. And so it's one of those things where Donald Trump, in my opinion, is a means to an end. I got it. Ends to a means. I always fuck it up. Means to an end. Yeah, see, I said it right. No, you're right. And so when you're looking at Donald Trump, you're saying, okay, so why Donald Trump? Well, the surveillance state would have been here under Kamala Harris. That's no question, in my opinion. When Kamala Harris was on the campaign trail, she famously said that we need to police social media and basically arrest people. That lost her a lot of clout, and that tells me where the Democrats are here in this world. They want to basically surveil you, arrest you, come after you for hate speech and all this other bigotry and bullshit. Stuff that shouldn't be a crime but is, and it's just what I would consider bad taste. So if you go out there on social media and you say the N-word, that shouldn't be a crime. It's just you're an asshole. What's wrong with you, right? But a crime, that's really pushing it. I'm from the future, will receive mail tomorrow. Oh, well, hell yeah, Ronson. My friend, I cannot wait for that. I can't wait. I like the future predictions. I'm going to call you Nostradamus. I'm going to call you Nostradamus, Virginia. It didn't have the twang to it, did it? I'm sorry. But anyway, so you have this thing here where you say, okay, so the Republicans hate the poor, and they want to live in a mass surveillance state. So I don't like that, but they also want to protect your gun rights. They want to secure the border. They want to protect a lot of your free speech rights. So it's kind of like an with the Republicans. I know you hate the poor. I know you don't like us, but I want to open carry my gun. So, and I want to go buy weed at a store. Unfortunately, you hate that for some reason. So I don't really get Republicans. Right, as a totalitarian group, I get Democrats. Right, I get Democrats. They're fucked up, they're angry, they mean, they have something wrong. Hell yeah, I love this place because I can actually say stuff here. And so I completely understand Democrats. They're hateful, orange man bad. They fucking don't like black people that are fucking Trump supporters. They say racial slurs to them. They can't control themselves. They're emotional. They're fucking triggered by every stupid thing. I totally get Democrats. You're unhinged. Wonderful, okay? But I don't get Republicans. And the reason I don't get Republicans is because they say, we want to secure the border. Yes. We don't want illegals coming over here en masse. Yes. We want to give you gun rights. Oh, that's good. I love it all. But, okay, what's the bullshit? We don't want to help the poor even though you're paying into taxes. Fuck you. Private business should have everything. And no, that's bullshit. What's up, Blake? And then Republicans will say, well, you also want weed legal or illegal. So, like, we want to arrest people for weed. And then you have Texas and Alabama and other states saying we're going to make hemp illegal. So my whole problem with this is what's up, Jacqueline? Ever since Donald Trump has become president, the Republican states have started becoming dictatorships and assholes. So like the governor of Alabama was like, we need to make hemp illegal. Well, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you make hemp illegal? Are you stupid or something? Then Texas said we're going to do the same thing. Why are Republicans restricting your freedoms? Why are Republicans being a nanny state? Like, what's the point of that? I thought Republicans were about individual freedoms and all this other stuff. But then all of a sudden, nope, we're not. We're going to restrict you on weed and we're going to make food stamps go away. And that's what pisses me off about Republicans, right? Is they give you freedoms on other aspects, but then take them away. But then let's say I want to carry a gun and smoke weed, okay? There's nobody there for me, right? There's nobody there for me. Hell, I love it. I can say the words. I can actually talk on this app. It's amazing. It has not passed yet, but they expect it to. And so I want to be able, won't want that in India. Yeah, and neither will Eli Lilly because they're assholes. And so what I want to do is open carry a pistol and buy weed. Okay, so where can I do that? Because no Republican state is allowing that. They all have their head up their ass. But then if I go to a liberal state, well, I can get you the weed, okay, but no gun. Well, what the fuck? Have you heard of like getting robbed? So liberal states have a higher issue with the gun thing. That's more prominent than the weed thing. But Republican states are giving a gift to the cartels by illegalizing weed. So if you say, I'm Indiana, I'm going to make weed illegal and arrest everybody for it, which they're doing. So what you're doing is saying we can't have a market that's legal, so the cartels are going to lace it with fentanyl and then bring it over here. Can't get cash up. Thank you, Uncle Dickie. Fuck yeah, man. I don't know. You are the king, though. Thanks, Uncle Dick. Yes, you are awesome. I have no fucking clue, man. That is the king shit, man. You are awesome. And so I'm sitting here looking at it like, why would Republicans not want weed? So we should move to Oregon. I can have weed and a gun. Why do Republicans want weed illegal? I thought you were into freedom. Nope, apparently they're not. Right? That was a day. I love that. Hell yeah. And so I just can't get behind these Republican states that do this shit because they spout freedom on this mouth and then we'll arrest you for something small. But then I can go to fucking, what's that place called? California. I can buy weed all day. But if I have a gun, it's fucking jail time. So, like, nobody's really offering full freedom. No, nobody's offering that. And this is the problem here. No one represents the people of America. I want weed legal. I want to carry my gun without a permit. I want private prisons gone. I want no income tax. I want to be able to own a house and not pay property taxes. Exactly, Uncle Dickie. And I've driven through Kansas, and trust me, my wife had PT. I'll tell you a story. We were going to Colorado, and I've already... we were driving through Kansas.
We're coming back from Colorado.
Whole way there, fine. I had COVID. Oh, I can say COVID here too. I have to say the Rona over there. The fuck is that bullshit? I didn't get the vaccine. Fuck that shit. I don't give a fuck. So anyway, I get back from Colorado. We're going back to Indianapolis, driving through Kansas. All of a sudden, we get around Alma, Kansas. And guess what? Roadblock across the highway. Roadblock across the highway. What is this, 1995? Well, they were dead fucking serious. So I didn't see it till it was too late. Got off at the exit right in front of it. You never want to do that, but I did it. Oh my God. Sorry. So anyway, we go out there, go off the highway. There's cops everywhere. There's helicopters, SUVs from multiple agencies. What are they doing? Well, they're checking your cars for weed. What the fuck is wrong with you? What, you ever heard of making money? You're a Republican, right? So if you sell weed legally out of a store, you make money, dumb fuck. Well, no, Jesus doesn't want you to do that. Well, no, actually, Jesus wouldn't want you probably smoking it, but using it as a medical tool within reason if you need it, probably wouldn't have a problem with it. I wouldn't say Jesus would be very happy about you being an addict. That's probably an issue. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, Jesus turned water to wine. It was mainly grape juice, but did you think Jesus didn't drink it? But he wasn't a drunk. If you drank the water, you'd get Montezuma's revenge back in the day, 1,500 years before he lived. So you know what I'm saying. But Republicans are really shooting themselves in the foot in more ways than one. No taxes on homegrown. Yeah, and then so now you have Donald Trump, and I'm like, okay, so Trump has said we're going to decriminalize it twice now. Twice now. Hasn't done it. These states in America that still have weed legal, that's just a gift to the cartels. Yeah, see, so Tennessee's rolling it back now too. See, this is the problem. And so now that Donald Trump has won, these Republican states now feel it necessary to be a dictatorship. And they say, well, because they're not conservative, they're Republican. Right? So like Indiana, it's not a conservative state. It's a corporate-bought Republican state. So you don't have freedom here. Right? Whatever Eli Lilly or a couple of universities say, that's what goes. Everybody's bought and paid for. And so even if Trump decriminalized it, which apparently he won't, because guess what? The UN has a charter to keep weed illegal. Why would we sign that? Well, because it's a Schedule 1. Yes, you made that up, you dumb fucks. It's the same thing with, like, we got to do better. And now that Donald Trump, they're trying to ban flavored, no, that's nice. What the fuck, man? And so now that Donald Trump has come in, it's giving these Republican states really a weird mandate because they're not acting like Trump and they're not acting in freedom. They're just taking law, they're just fucking you and throwing you in jail now. So why would Republican states act like that? Because they're not conservative, they're Republican. And that's the difference, you see? That's the difference. And that's what a lot of people that hate me on TikTok and stalkers and all that don't seem to understand. It's not Republican and Democrat, you fucking morons. What it is fucking freedom versus everything else. Democrats and Republicans are both anti-freedom. Right? Otherwise, you would have had Bernie Sanders versus Donald Trump. And they fucked that over, put Hillary Clinton in, and with super delegates fucking their own people over. And then the same with Trump. And whether you like Trump or not is irrelevant because this time around, he bent the Republican Party over and said, basically, I'm up here or you're going to lose the election. And I'll run as a third party. And then the Democrats, well, we want Kamala. So you didn't really have an election, in my opinion, that was your own. Okay? And that's what really bothers me about this whole thing. Yes, I voted for Trump because fuck Kamala Harris. She doesn't know what she's doing. It was all optics. We need our first woman of color. That doesn't mean she's good, okay? So we have a lot more to deal with than the color of your skin. It's the year 2025. We need to stop doing this skin color bullshit. It's a dead argument, and the rest is just racism, and you can be black and racist. Yes, that's my opinion. I don't even have to say it's my opinion on this app. You know why I say it's my opinion on videos on TikTok? Because if I don't, they'll say it's misinformation. So I have to say it's my opinion. That's why I do that. That's why I quit screaming so much on, because they're deranged. Did you know that I signed an NDA with TikTok? I know a little bit of the insides with it, but that was on a banned account, so I don't have to listen anymore. So if you scream loud on TikTok, the algorithm assumes that you're yelling and they'll start reducing your presence. If you don't have a bright smile, right? That's why I act like a psycho, right? Because the algorithm, the bigger the eyes and the bigger the smile, like that, it fucking reads it and it says that you have a positive emotion. But if you're sitting here, yeah, I just don't know, dude, you know what I'm saying? The algorithm on TikTok will assume you're pissed and angry and it won't recommend you. I'm dead serious. They fucking shadow ban without shadow banning. That's why, like, I know a little bit more of those things because I signed an NDA and I had a fucking, what was it, a Zoom meeting or whatever with some of the people that were running TikTok. And they're a bunch of fucking communist pieces of shit. Trust me. These motherfuckers, I got into a fight with a TikTok representative. This piece of shit was the softest little turd I have ever met in my life. His name was fucking Hadrian, right? And every word you said was an offense. Like you would say a word, excuse me, if you say that, I'm gonna have to not. Could you please stop yelling or I'm going to have to mute this conversation? I'm like, I'm not yelling. Yet you saying not yelling is you yelling. Stop defending yourself. Stop defending yourself. That's it. I'm ending this conversation. You defended yourself. You're not allowed. That's the staff at TikTok. That's what I'm not allowed to say over there because they know me, okay? So the staff at TikTok, if you resist, they choose. So if you say you're wrong, they believe it's an argument and you're getting hostile. Right? So if you say, well, what you're saying is a lie, they choose that as hostility and they attack you. So if you ever want to know, well, I'm like, oh, I had a comment and I appealed it and I wrote into it, this isn't what I meant. They say that that's hostility. You have to literally beg like they do in China when you get on your hands and knees. Oh, it was a misunderstanding like they do in North Korea with the guy that they killed when they brought over here that stole the banner, that auto guy that came dead in a coma. That's what it is. You barely slip up, they'll fucking crush you because that's what the Chinese Communist Party does. And so here's the thing about TikTok. I'll go into this before I get into the rest of the news. So here's what I've discovered with TikTok. I couldn't put it on that app, so I'm going to tell you here on live. TikTok is basically 50 to 60% bots. And so I don't go live on here, so now I get to tell you. So this was tough to keep in the whole time I was over there. So what it is ByteDance has TikTok there and in Los Angeles. Their hub is in Los Angeles, California. That's TikTok. But if you look at ByteDance's structure, they have TikTok offices throughout the world, but they have a big presence in a couple of places. Los Angeles, Singapore, and the Cayman Islands. Okay? I am dead serious. The Cayman fucking Islands, right? So that should set off red flags for you if you know anything about money laundering in the 80s and blow and all that other shit. Yeah, the Cayman Islands were right up that alley. So the reason they put that there is because there's very loose monetary restrictions and very loose technical restrictions. And so what TikTok does, and I've taken these fake accounts and I've backtraced their IP address, I had 6 or 8 of them ping off of the Cayman Islands. And so what the best I could figure is that TikTok has a server system that's creating bots in the Cayman Islands, and they're posted. So they have a server that generates fake bots from just fake creators, fake followers, fake people from nothing. And so what'll happen is you'll see a fake account come on, and they'll get 16,000 followers in less than 5 hours. And they're impersonating you. What the fuck? Well, it's a server in the Cayman Islands that's just making it up. And so they'll rocket it up to as much as 30,000 before it stops, and they'll do it again and again and again. And if you report them, they'll remove it, but they just keep coming back because it's auto-generated fake bot accounts that are impersonations. And so what happens is it looks like the amount of people on TikTok is like 1 billion a week or whatever. It's really about half that amount. Like YouTube is crushing TikTok. It always has. TikTok's never been as popular as you think it is. It's mostly bot accounts created from the Cayman Islands. That's real. That's absolute a fact. I have a video on YouTube about the whole thing and what I found. And so what they did was they falsely made all these fucking bot accounts to generate false engagement, make the app look like it was a lot better. And they tricked advertisers to putting their money in here. And so they pulled a lot of advertising money from YouTube and from Facebook and all these other apps and platforms over to TikTok. The problem is that the people actually didn't exist there. They were just fake. So half of them or more were just fake. And so now if you look up what's called the TikTok Transparency Report, you can see the amount of fake accounts have rocketed up. These are accounts that they're banning that they used in order to falsely game their own algorithm and system to make it look like it was more popular than it really was. And so when you see that, that whole platform is bullshit. The whole platform is bullshit. And so that's just what I wanted to say about that. So anyway, now we have a story that says that the USA already saw that the United States is turning into a mass techno state. Donald Trump's immigration is about to ramp up very high here shortly. Donald Trump says that we want 3,000 people arrested a day immediately, increasing to hopefully 10,000 a day. And of course, we're looking at banning, and he already has international students. And of course, if you don't know or if you're not aware, Donald Trump has also put a travel ban on for 12 nations. It was 9, but they've rocketed up to 12. Donald Trump says that those countries can't be trusted to basically police themselves. And so we're banning the people coming up from that. So the nations that are going to be the nations that are banned by Donald Trump, a growing list, starts out as 19 countries. So countries that are suspended totally from coming to the United States as of today, and this could grow, are Haiti, Equatorial Guinea, the Republic of the Congo, not the DRC, Somalia, Yemen, Eritrea and Sudan. Eritrea because they're working with the Chinese, Chad, Libya, Iran, Afghanistan, and Myanmar. So those are the nations that are totally banned from coming into the United States as of now. I'm sure a federal judge will fuck around, but they'll get beat because they did in 2018. So then you have on restricted entry per Donald Trump, and those countries are Laos, Turkmenistan, Burundi, Togo, Sierra Leone, Venezuela, and Cuba. Those are nations that are now restricted from coming into the United States. Now, the reason is because they believe that the people are not vetted. And Donald Trump states that people are basically overstaying their visa. So now the numbers are showing that there's a total of 37,000 overstay visas from Afghanistan, with 23,000 from Iran, 15,000 from Myanmar, 14,000 from Yemen, which is a terrorist country in my opinion. We have, I can't get over it. They conditioned me. 13,000 Haiti overstays, 8,400 Sudanese overstays, 4,050 overstays from Libya, 5,196 overstays from Somalia, 2,723 overstays from Eritrea, 2,165 overstays from the Republic of Congo, 1,647 overstays from Chad, and 754 people overstaying from Equatorial Guinea. Now, Donald Trump vows to get those people and deport them. I am 100% on board with this because people don't need to be overstaying visas. I've lived in Australia. It's very hard to overstay a fucking visa unless you're purposely doing it, okay? This is something that's purposely done. I have a feeling that there's terrorists in our midst. And, of course, Tom Homan, which if you know who Tom Homan is saying that he believes a terrorist attack is imminent. If you notice, these are all topics I haven't talked about on TikTok because it's terrible over there. So Tom Homan now states that they have evidence to believe that there's a terrorist attack potential because of all the people that have been coming over here unvetted. I don't know if that's just allegory or if it's actually proof. He hasn't given any proof, but I don't know if he would. Okay. Oh, let me see again. Oh, God, they're so nice. And big. Oh, my God. Anyway, Elon Musk says that Trump is in the Epstein files. Donald Trump now states, quote, him and Elon Musk had a great relationship. He doesn't know if they will anymore. So, Musk responded yes, post saying that Trump should be impeached and J.D. Vance should replace him. Now, my whole thing about J.D. Vance is I don't really care for J.D. Vance. It's not that I don't care for him. I don't think he's capable right now. And I have a big problem with what's going on with Donald Trump not going after shit that we should. I want to know why Fauci has not been investigated. I want to know why a lot of people have not been arrested. I want to know why Donald Trump is, after they tried to kill him more than once, he's being so kind to the billionaires that are in his staff and cabinet. He's clearly got people that are turncoats in there. I know he says that he's not. I know Donald Trump says he's very shrewd and he doesn't trust anybody. Of course, he shouldn't. But at the same time, Donald Trump has to understand that there's wolves in sheep's clothing. Elon Musk was probably not that. So I think, in my opinion here, it's not my opinion, it's a fucking fact, that Donald Trump made a big bad move here with the ouster of Elon Musk. I don't care if he was doing fucking Special K when he was in there. I know people that took it for depression. They were sanctioned by psychiatrists to take it. Right? And so this is an age divide. This is an issue that needs to be worked out. But the bigger question here and the bigger problem, it's not even about Donald Trump or Elon Musk. We have a responsibility to stop waste, fraud, and fucking money laundering, but we also have a responsibility to save our country, build the infrastructure, strengthen the military, increase our freedoms, and also, much to what Republicans don't like, help the poor. You also have to help the poor. You can't be a fucking asshole. And that's what Republicans are trying to do, is they're trying to take away food stamps from people in some red states. Not all. They're trying to, in some cases, take away Medicaid. So Republicans are saying, well, we have Trump as president. It's open for whatever we want. I worry that Trump is not going to be the strong line against the rhino Republicans, opting to work with them rather than help the American people. And so if that's the case, I know people keep saying, well, give it time, blah, blah, blah. I'm done giving it time. Right? It could be, and it doesn't matter, Trump, Biden, whatever. I've been giving this government 20 years or more. Okay? I've been giving enough time. Marijuana is still not decriminalized or legal. They have multiple bills that have already passed that are just sitting there. No one gives a shit. Chuck Schumer's a piece of shit. Mitch McConnell's a piece of shit. We need to do better here. And where private prisons still exist. You have more people in jail in the United States than any other country, yet you have the fucking audacity to say that you're the freest country in the world. You're not the freest country in the world when you have more people in jail than any other fucking country. The fuck is wrong with you? So we need to make it so you can open carry guns, so you can secure the border from illegal immigrants, legalize or decriminalize marijuana, right? Get rid of private prisons, help the poor. That includes the rich paying more. This big, beautiful bill thing, right? I know everybody, this big, beautiful bill fucking sucks, okay? And I'm going to tell you a couple reasons why it's okay and a couple reasons why it sucks. So without even looking, without even looking, I don't even have, my computer's just blank right now. The big, beautiful bill has no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. That's fine, but it's not permanent. It stops in 2028 and it has caps on it. So what the fuck? Right? That right there is stupid. It was going to be the whole time, but then he worked with Republicans and now it's ending. Right? What the fuck is wrong with Republicans? What's wrong with you? Why are you so nanny state dictate? You might as well be liberals. I mean, I'm sorry, Republicans. You may as well be fucking Democrats the way you are. I mean, kind of fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So now they say, well, we're going to pull back food stamps. We're going to pull back Medicaid. You get to keep the tax benefits, but then on estate taxes, $13 million or more, we're going to help the rich out. Dude, bro, the rich doesn't need help anymore. Okay? Stop helping the rich, you fucking assholes. The fuck is wrong with you? They have enough. Didn't you see how much they gouged you under Joe Biden? Right? They got enough. They got their money through Joe Biden. Okay? The rich don't need any more fucking money. For once in our goddamn country, fuck them, okay? For once in our country, fuck the rich. I mean, just for once. Let's just one presidency. Let's see no major wars and the rich not getting ahead. Is it that hard? Pull your head out of your ass for once. I mean, let's just do it. I don't want a foreign war, okay? I don't give a fuck about Russia or Ukraine. Let them kill each other. What's that have to do with me? We got to uphold democracy. The fuck we do? The fuck we do, bitch. I don't got to uphold shit. My family's not going and dying for your country. Fuck yourself. And I'm sure it's not good. Well, you're a coward if you won't go up against Russia. No, it's not cowardice, stupid. It's, do you want 5 million people to die? Apparently you do. And I know NATO does. They're fucking walking into it, running into it. Why are they so happy about war? I mean, they're almost giddy. They're almost giddy about fighting the Russians. They're almost gleeful about sending people to die. And then what are you going to do? Bring in a bunch of migrants to take over Europe? That's what you're doing. Like, look at what Europe is. I have to say it again here. You know, I don't give a fuck, okay? When you look at Europe, those leaders have betrayed their own people. Germany, France, England, Ireland, the Nordic countries, the Baltic states, right? The fucking Iberian. They don't give a fuck about their people. Look what Greece did. We're going to cut your benefits and give them to migrants. We're going to use some of our islands as migrant centers. Come on over. Well, why would you do that? Why would you send 10 million people to Europe from Africa and Syria? Well, I don't know. Then all of a sudden, rapes are higher, burglaries, murders, England, people getting stabbed on the street, Germany, people driving into Christmas markets. Oh, it has nothing to do with them. They're good people. Well, it doesn't really seem like it if they keep driving over Christmas markets with little kids in it. Seems like they're a bunch of murderers. Why? Because I mean, what the fuck? Why would you send people that aren't conducive to your society? Multiculturalism. Name a society where multiculturalism is great. Is Japan multicultural? No. What about China? No. Indonesia? Other than Malay? No. So why is frankly speaking, the Western nations have to eat this multicultural horse shit? What's wrong?
Right, I got a loose hair and it's tickling my
Oh.
so I have to.
But try that. Try 10 million people saying, I want to move to Africa. Oh no, white boy, you can't do that. Well, why? Well, that's not your land. Okay, so ours is? Right? So only the Western nations need to diversify, but none of the other nations. Sounds a little sus to me, don't you think? Little weird, kind of like you're doing it on purpose. So why would you do that? Well, the aristocracy wants a new feudalism, okay? Because they're basically saying we're going to have these people fighting over race and religion. They'll be so mired in this that we'll just usher in a fucking neo-feudalistic society. And when the elite, and that's what people say, well, it's white supremacy. No, it's not white supremacy. White people aren't racist. The elite are the ones that are, right? So don't get this shit twisted. Don't sit there and keep thinking, oh, it's just white people. No, it's not. It's the elite fuckheads. They're the ones doing all this, right? They hate us. And they always have. And so they want neo-feudalism. I've been saying it for 2 years on Fuck Talk, and now I'm going to say it here. Neo-feudalism, some of you put in the comments, do you know what feudalism is? Do you know what the structure of feudalism is? Got to get my smoke machine going over here. So feudalism is a stratified 4 or 5 tier system that used to come out of basically, Renaissance and medieval Europe, okay? And so what this is saying, okay, well, we want feudalism. So everything has to go up to the leaders. And so everybody that's the peasantry will obey and we rule them. And so with feudalism, tell me if this isn't what you're living on. I'm going to describe this and tell me if this isn't real or not, because this is what's happening. In feudalism, 80% of the people were serfs and peasants, couple percent merchants, and they were all in the same category. Nobody owned land, right? Nobody owned land. They all rented from the Lord. Okay? Is that rain?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. How many people rent versus own now? Most people rent. So there's feudalism. Then what happened? The Lord would take those earnings and give some to the next caste. And then that caste would give it to the king. And then he would rule down like Jesus on his throne. Okay, that's what feudalism is. So now when you see American society and Western society, what do you have? Specifically in Europe, the United States is falling into this. You have 80% of the people that are peasants here in America and throughout the world. You have a couple percent that are merchants, and they all pay rent to a lord. And they're held in by security forces, police, clergy, and work officials, work bosses. That's what you had under feudalism. Then those people and you pay taxes to the next level, which is your government leaders and your government proprietors. So those people then take allegiance from a secret group. It's not even secret, they're hand-picked. Some of them are presidents, some of them are financiers, some of them are just influencers when it comes to the world stage, like fucking Klaus Schwab. And these people, it used to be back in the day in feudalism, the very top was the king. One man, not a woman, one man. That's not what this is now. Now what it is the very top of the feudalism that you're seeing here in America and the Western world, the neo-feudalism, is about 2,000 or 3,000 rich and very well elite white people that are running it. And that's no lie. And so instead of just having one very well-known elite class that's ruling you, you might have 2,000 to 3,000 people worldwide, maybe even up to 5,000 or 6,000 people that are pulling the strings kind of in the front and kind of in the back at the same time. Like, think of Klaus Schwab, where he's out there saying what we're going to do, not publicly implementing policy, yet it still happens. Right? This is the type of neo-feudalism it is. These people that are the very top, they don't want to coerce with you. They don't want to be your cohort. They don't want to know you. They don't want to be in the same room as you. They want you gone when they approach. Right? And that's the tippy top of the neo-feudalistic chart. You have Rothschilds, you have Vanderbilts, you have Rockefellers, you have heirs to the Medicis that go back to Verona and fucking Venice. You have families of Swiss bankers, English bankers, coin clipping, if you know what I'm talking about from back in the day. Those people that used to coin clip and then lend the money out, those are the people that are now in charge of a lot of this, the JP Morgans, the Chases, that type of thing. And then, of course, they have you fighting over race. Let's get reparations. Of course, why aren't you suing the banks for reparations? They were really the problem, but no, let's go after the people because Black Lives Matter, white supremacy, right? And so the banks are infallible. The Federal Reserve is infallible. And Donald Trump is fighting to change all this shit, but he can't because A, he's either compromised, or B, he's been threatened with death. I'm not 100% sure what it is. Which I don't think he cares at this point, but these people that are the elitist scumbags from behind the scenes really do a number on people, and it's very unfortunate. By the way, I think it's funny that Andrew Tate's been arrested. Fuck you, asshole. That's funny. I saw the videos of you abusing women. You deserve every inch of that dick you're about to get. I don't give a fuck. How's that sound? Just throwing that out there. I think it's hilarious. I don't like Andrew Tate. I never did. Never saw the appeal. Sorry about that. If you do like Andrew Tate, not my cup of tea. So the thing is you have to understand, regardless, like, I'm not a fan of liberals, okay? I don't care for liberals mostly. But you have to understand that free speech is supposed to be speech you don't like, right? Free speech does not protect your speech. It protects the guy that you don't agree with speech. Do you understand? And so if you say, I like Trump or I hate Trump or whatever, you're allowed to do that and say whatever you want. And I don't know why people think it's a problem. Specifically, liberals say that I have to shut down speech. Conservatives will take it to a certain point, but then they try to shut down liberal speech as well. And I'm urging conservatives as well to stop fucking with liberals when they're saying dumb shit. Right? I don't like it any more than you do. I get death threats every day on TikTok, to the point where I barely read the comments because I get a lot of them. At the same time, it's like, look, you have to let people say things, okay? Even if they're liberals and you don't like it. I don't like Harry, Parker, and Dean either. I think they're douchebags. And like I say, come at me. I'll debate you any day, you fucking assholes. But that being said, it's not our job to shut those people down. So when Parker goes out there and says a bunch of dumb shit none of us agree with, it's not our job to shut Parker down. He can sit there and act like a moron if he wants. It's the same with Dean Withers, or Winters, whatever the fuck his name is. He comes out there screaming about how he hates Jesus. Wonderful. We think you're stupid. It doesn't mean I'm going to shut you down. That's not what this is. You don't deserve that because this is the United States. You're allowed to say, you don't like Jesus. Wonderful. I'll counter you by saying I do like Jesus. But it's not my place to take you down. I'm not a piece of shit. Right? And it's the same with Harry Sisson. I fucking hate Harry Sisson. I think he's one of the most vile people I've met on social media. As insufferable and punchable as his face is. At the same time, it's not my job to talk shit. You know, if you want to debate, we can debate. And I'd love to call you out. Harry, Parker, Dean, fuck you guys. I would love to debate each and every one of you. But I wouldn't do it on TikTok because you would just be censored there. You'd have to keep in protocol. Come here on YouTube. Come at me, bitch. But nevertheless, they're allowed to say their opinion as much as I loathe them. Right? And that's the same with everybody else. And everybody has to start growing a fucking dick again. This is the big thing. The age of accountability is over. Okay? It's over. Right? You went on a mission, mostly liberals, to find every single offensive thing that you could find and remove it. Everything, no matter what it fucking was. To the point, and I've done it too, where I said, I can't believe Chick-fil-A did this. I'm going to go on X and bitch about it. We've all done this shit. But liberals went and immediately tried to destroy the individual for their speech. That I cannot forgive. That I cannot forgive. Because in this country, that's the only thing that separates us from the rest of the fucking world that sucks my asshole. Right? I'm not one of the, I like America. It's a great country. I've been to other countries. So I know that each country has their own thing. Some of them are repressive as fuck and you couldn't pay me to go there. Other countries have it on lockdown better than America, but also not in other ways. Look at Australia, right? I love Australia. I've lived there twice. So Australia does some really good things and they do some horse's ass things. So Australia is very restrictive on immigration. Did you know that? Fantastic country. They'll be like, oh, you're illegal? Fuck you. Get out immediately. Australia is very restrictive on immigration. So Australia did that right. They know what they're doing there. Australia got that. Love it. But Australia is very liberal in other aspects. They don't like you to say things about free speech. If you did, they would arrest you for protesting the jab. They would fucking come at you for what you said on social media. Did you know in New Zealand they don't have the free speech you think? If you criticize the government, they'll arrest you. Well, it's a democracy. Yeah, who said a democracy was free, dumb fuck? You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest lie. They say North Korea is a democracy. On World Book, yeah. They say fucking Russia's a democracy. Somalia is a democracy somehow, they say. 180 countries in the world are democracies, according to these dumb fucks. They're not free, right? Ukraine's a democracy. But Belarus is a democracy. Italy's a democracy. Some country that kills their people because they say the wrong thing. That's a democracy. Right? You don't want a democracy. A democracy is basically nothing but a soft dictatorship. 51% get, 49% get fucked over. I don't want to fight for a democracy. I don't want a democracy. I want a federated state or a constitutional republic or a federation mixed with a meritocracy. Some type of form of government that's a little bit both, right? Something that has a solid social safety net with freedom to do whatever the fuck I feel. That's not hurting other people. Well, what's hurting? If you're secondhand smoke. No. That all bullshit is bullshit. First of all, you got to quit thinking like a lawyer, right? No more law talk. Stop that bullshit. If I want to smoke in public, fuck you. Just walk away from it. If I want to say something dirty online, scroll away or block, right? Like they used to have a channel changer. If I want to walk around with a gun, who fucking cares? Get your own. You don't want one? Oh, well, I'll protect you. Whatever. Right? But the moment you start deciding somebody else doesn't deserve a freedom is the point when you become a piece of shit. And this has nothing to do with like abortion and stuff like that. That's a whole other ball of wax, right? I've already given my perceptions on that. If in the cases of life of the mother, rape, incest, look, I can say those. Sexual assault. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't have to say S.A. here. I could say rape, incest, sexual assault in the life of the mother. Like every normal person. See, I told you YouTube was better. Get off TikTok and come to YouTube. Fuck TikTok. YouTube's better. I said, look, I can a gun. I mean, come on, I don't have to restrict myself on that. And you get 70% of the super chats as opposed to like 40? Yeah, fuck TikTok, man. This is the place. Hell yeah, man. You guys are awesome. I made $59 on here. I would never get most of that money on TikTok. By the way, Shark the live stream, share and heart. Huh? I think, yeah, you can share.
I haven't seen how.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you share on here? I don't know. But anyway, the thing is, okay, well, don't forget to make a bunch of comments on there. You can spam the chat. I don't give a fuck. Please do. And so I'm just wondering, like, at what point are we having freedom? Well, you should spam the chat.
Huh?
You should spam the chat. No one wants to say anything.
They're all talking.
None of my things are updating. My it stopped like, yep. It says Tennessee is really showing their colors. That's the last one I got.
Oh, no. People have been saying they're talking.
Really? Yeah, I'm not getting any of your comments at all. None of my comments are coming through. So my comment stopped when Legacy said something. He said, instantly, yes, Arkansas is the worst of them all.
That was a long time.
Yeah, I have not gotten a new comment since.
Really?
Yeah, see, look.
Don't show
No,
me.
but you see?
Huh.
It's not showing up, so I don't know what the deal is with that.
I don't know if Legacy's in here anymore.
Like, how do I fix that? Is it because the comment's pinned?
The comment's been pinned.
Really? Yeah, okay, so whatever it is, my wife is reading the comments, so she'll tell me, so if you see anything important, let me know. So we're doing it that way. Whatever, we'll go through tech. I don't give a fuck. So I'm not ignoring you. The comments aren't showing up. So please comment, and if you have any questions, my wife will tell me because she's moderating and watching it. And then, see, it's not...
Do you have 3 dots in the top right corner?
No, I don't have 3 dots. I have the amount of money. I have the likes, the people watching, and then fucking the turn it, the voice thing, the battery or the camera thing, and then enhance and a couple other things.
Really?
Yeah, so it's just not showing them, so I don't know what the deal is with that. I can go all the way back, and then if I click it, it's just nothing. Wait, hold on. channel activity, add as moderator, put user in timeout. Well, whatever it is, keep commenting because you guys are awesome. So either way, freedom is the real deal here. Freedom. And we need a society that's gearing towards two things: freedom and evolution. Okay? That's where, and so we have to start thinking in a way that's not dumb as shit like we've been doing, like dry humping the same. I can say dry humping here. It doesn't do it. It can scroll back, but it just dead stops. So I don't know what the fuck. So did I get too many comments and it just stops on my end? Well, does anybody ask a question?
I'm logged in under you.
You're logged in under me?
Yes, I'm in the chat.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, anyway, whatever. So I don't know how this is working. I'll have to say something to YouTube. But when you look at society, so let me just ask you some questions. You realize that money is a value we set for it, right? Like, you realize that's what this is. So when you're sitting there saying, like, we're chasing something, we make the value up out of nothing. The whole planet is based on green coupons, green rectangles. The whole fucking society. Everybody, they kill people for it. They boast on collecting it, this, that, or the other. We're basically fighting for green rectangles to turn them in as coupons for food, shelter, liquids, clothing, and luxury items. And if you have green pieces of paper here in America, other colors depending on the country, then you are really something. And if you don't, then all of a sudden you're worthless, apparently. So that mentality is dumb as fuck. Okay? The mentality that I have to have money to be something is the dumbest fucking thing, and it pigeonholes and destroys every aspect of our society. Because at the end of the day, every conversation goes back to how much money does it cost.
Oh, we got $20 from Uncle Dickie.
Oh, thank you, Michael Dickey.
Uncle Dickie.
Uncle Dickey. It's not showing up on here either.
What the heck?
It's now, it came up on the money and it changed it, but nothing's coming up. It's just like,
You had to have somehow disabled
no, it just stopped doing it. I didn't even touch it. It just stopped.
Let's see if I leave.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck. I can't see anything on here. So my wife is literally telling me, so thank you, you guys are awesome. And so when we're looking at it, we say, okay.
And you can't like leave and come back.
No, it'll fuck it up, yeah. So the paper chase, the money chase, what we've been doing is not conducive to anybody unless they already have it from a previous generation, right? Those are the only people that can do anything. Elon Musk started out with an emerald mine, okay? This is the level we're at. Here, let me see. So it's kind of like a video game. So if you've ever played a video game back in the day, most of the time you don't start out with zero, okay? Every video game, like 90% of them, you start out with, $50, $100, $1,000, at least a gun or a car or a place to live. In America, in the Western world, in this entire planet, everything is conducive on how much paper you can get to feed a system that ultimately gives money to the highest echelons, and you keep generating on a wheel. So every turn of the wheel, like a hamster on it, is a grind of the money.
Shermanator gave you $5.
Thank you, Shermanator. I'm sorry I can't. Huh?
And Uncle Dickie with his 20
Uh-huh.
would like to discuss not paying the debt.
Oh, yes, we'll talk about not paying the debt. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so she's keeping me on board. So remind me. So let me go through my spiel, and then we'll talk about not paying debt, because that's very important. And so, because I agree with that. So people have to stop trying to make their whole life about money. But you can't, because the system that we're living in the world revolves around the generation of wampum. And that's a problem. We need to stop doing that. And so we need to move to a society, not even of merit base. Merit base is good just to see if you're qualifying or not, right? That puts you in a category. Have you found out anything? That puts you in a category of best or worst. What we need to do is have a society based on like you do a service and then you get in return. That's what Star Trek is like. And so what do? I joined Starfleet. Okay, you get a place to live, house, uniform, food, water, blah, blah, blah. And we need to start actually putting money into technology and inventing better things out of this lifestyle. But you see, there are groups that are making lots of money and lots of power and fame off of being in this society. So everything they do is conducive to making these coupons because that pays for their never-ending pleasure cycle. So like Jeff Bezos and his plastic wife, they fucking constantly want to live a lifestyle of not just normalcy, but extreme luxury. Well, to do that, they need your green rectangles. So they'll sell their soul, destroy worlds, take away from their workers, use them as fucking cannon fodder, whatever it is, to continue to make this money. Countries will go to war to make sure that they continue to have the money that they themselves just made up out of thin air. Doesn't that sound dumb as fuck to you? Doesn't that sound dumb as fuck to you? Because it should. Because you're working for something that your society made up the value out of off of nothing. It would have been based off of commodities or gold or silver or platinum or diamonds or some kind of base. But it's not. It's made up out of thin air because it's fiat currency from central banks. Private central banks like the Rothschilds, the Vanderbilts, fucking, what's that other piece of shit? The Federal Reserve or this type of shit. And so we say, I don't really want to do this anymore. Okay, the younger generation doesn't want to work anymore. Why? Because they understand that technology can outpace our source of work. Right now, it's holding people back to use chattel as money-making business. And that's what these billionaires are doing is they say, no, we have to continue using human chattel to make money because if we don't, that means we have to expend and you'll not be wanting to work with us. You'll want to fucking do your own thing and you won't need us. And if you don't need us, then you'll have your own life and existence and we can't control you like free-range slavery. Right? And that's what you're living in the United States is a luxurious free-range slavery. Some countries are actually living in pretty much slavery, and other countries are living in moderate free-range slavery. But it all goes down to the same thing. And now we're going to get into the debt part. Uncle Dick, Dickie, when you see what's going on here, and you look at the United States, and you say, we are $36 trillion in debt, rising, almost $37 trillion now, in debt in the United States. Okay, so think about that number, $36 trillion in debt. So then you say, well, how much money is in the entire planet? Well, that ranges from $77 trillion to $110 trillion if you include assets of the world. So the United States approximately holds 1/3 to 1/2 of the debt of the entire planet in one nation with 4% of the population. So do you see a problem with this? It's funny money. It's made up horse shit. It's just there to bullshit. Now, this is my thing with Donald Trump. He said something poignant the other day saying we should just not have debt, not worry about it. No debt ceiling. Oh. No, don't do that. No, don't do that anyway. No. I don't know how, I would say if it was just like a preview video or something, but yeah, I don't know how their live shit works. They can be very strict. I don't know. Anyway, don't worry. I'll figure this comment thing out. But so the United States' debt that we're making is a private entity Ponzi scheme. So here's how our system works and why we should just cancel our debt and write it off and move into this evolution of society. Here, let me see. Oh. And so what we need to do is write off the debt because it's funny money. So what happens is in the United States is there's two. Oh, okay. So there's two. Okay, so now I can see the comments. So there's two sectors that basically say we need money or credit from the Federal Reserve, which is a fiat currency system. Okay? Fiat currency system. So before I even begin with that dumb shit, right? What you have is the Federal Reserve is a private bank. We don't have a national bank. Kind of like England and Germany. They don't have national banks, most of them. They have these private entities that generate currency and credit for the government and companies. So here's how the system works. What you have is, we'll start with the side of the government, because it's a two-pronged system. The government, correct, says we need X, Y, or Z money for currency or this, that, or the other. And so they borrow at interest, though low, from the Federal Reserve, and that gives it to the system, our system of money. And then that goes out for buying shit, paying deficits, giving to currency, whatever, putting it into the system. So that bullshit has an interest rate built into it. So what that turns into is, if you look at their sheets, it's an interest rate up. What we have is an inflation rate because of it. So we get the negative end of all this, okay? And so we have an inflation built in to generating money from the Federal Reserve. Well, where does the Federal Reserve get it? They have the authority to just generate it from thin air. It just comes from nothing. It wells up. It wells up from nothing. So the money that's in America, England, all these, if you're not based on a precious metal or a commodity of some sort, your money just wells up from inexistence. Right? Like God speaking the Big Bang into existence. It just wells up from nothing. Just, here's money. Like, woo, butter, like coming out of my, just osmosing. And you say, okay, so what's this money based on? Absolutely nothing. It's based on, sorry, I took Mullen. It's based on the trust it'll be paid back. Okay, that's it. Used to be based on gold and silver, but they took that off back in the day. I think it was under, was it Johnson or Nixon? They took it off of the gold standard. Because the notion was that at such a low interest rate, it would always be paid off and the value would not fluctuate like it does with gold, okay? And so it was Nixon, okay. And so it was rooted in, once again, good intention. God damn. Hold on a second. What the fuck? Did I swallow fucking sand? Holy fucking shit. Just give me... Oh my fuck. He needs some milk. Fucking hell. What the fuck, god dang. Jesus fucking Christ, mate. That's fucking dodgy as, isn't it? Ugh, it needs fucking milk. Shit, yeah. It was like I had fucking a piece of rubber in my throat. Okay, so continue. So after that, yeah. Close enough. Yeah, so they took us off of the gold standard in the case that we would be able to pay the easy interest off, okay? So a 0.35% interest or whatever, or not an interest, what do they call that? Inflation would not be difficult to pay off if you were fiscally responsible. If you listen to what the phrase is, if you were fiscally responsible. That didn't happen, however. What happened was, at some point, and I don't know if it was Carter, Reagan, Clinton, or Bush. I believe it was Bush one of the most evil men in American history, where the debt spending started going out of control. Now, at first, went into military spending. Now, this went into all kinds of fucked up things. We had the Iran-Contra. We had a lot of other dumb shit that went on. And that shit still goes on. That black hat CIA dumb shit. But what you had on top of that was a higher spending and a higher interest that needed to be paid. And so now you started getting what was called deficit, which stopped under Bill Clinton. He was out of deficit. Then it went into it harsh. Yeah, it was Bush. God damn, I'm still dying. Jesus, honey. And so once that happened, the spending went up. And so you started getting mandates to raise a debt ceiling because our people that were in charge before understood that the debt needed to have a cap. So they put a debt ceiling. What's up, Uncle? To hell yes. Listen to Alex every day. Hell yes, Uncle. Oh, AJ. Yeah, AJ's okay. They turned the freaking frog skin. Do you understand me? Oh, yes, that's funny. So that being the case, now what's happening is we're what's called an unsustainable pattern of where the money coming in and being spent out cannot pay the interest rate that we owe the Federal Reserve and our trade deficits that came from paying off the Federal Reserve and other kinds of misappropriation and misalignment. So now that that's the case, you owe $36 trillion and you have to pay an interest. Yes, Eric. And you have to pay an interest of $1.5 or so trillion into this system. And so by the time you do that and then you pay your basics off, basically, you don't have any money left in the United States. So Joe Biden, well, this went for decades, right? Just like this. So what Joe Biden tried to do was implement environmental and social policy, which was very expensive. It typically is. That has very little financial return. So when you start like saying we're gonna stop putting ability at the top, and we're gonna stop putting this or that at the top, and we're gonna uplift people that don't necessarily have the skill to be there, that starts costing a lot of money in order to train that unskilled people because of their social standings. So it's like saying, oh, well, okay, this guy's a drag queen. So what we'll do is we'll put him to the highest echelons of this, that, or the other. Well, are you qualified for it? No, but it socially comes into this narrative. So therefore, so the return on that is it takes a lot more money and time to train from potentially a lower skill level if they haven't been doing that for as long as somebody saying it's a tech, whatever. We could have example after example. But that's not the issue. The major issue here is we're looking at this shit and we say, okay, we're beholden to a private bank to give us currency at a rate they charge. That's the dumbest shit for a sovereign nation I've ever seen, because immediately that puts that financial entity in charge of your entire shit. No matter what it is, they own you now because they're in charge of it. And, well, we can't stop it. We have to have an act of Congress. Well, let's do it because fuck this bullshit. But that's not where it stops. It doesn't just say, it's not just stopping of you paying your own money, right? So they generate money and you pay for your own money. So when you work, your tax dollars at this point are paying for the money that you get, right? So the currency that's put in the system by the Federal Reserve, you're paying the interest on the money that you're making right now. So I'm at work, I make $500, right? Part of that money I pay in taxes goes to pay the interest to the person that made the money you got. So you see how stupid this is, right? You're literally robbing Peter, which is you, to pay Paul, to give to Peter, to rob, to pay Paul. And it's just a Ponzi scheme. So the Federal Reserve's a piece of shit. But it gets worse, because then when the money gets too worthless, like it is, and now all the costs are double, like what happened under Joe Biden, which was an increase of not helping the United States, the citizens, but also companies gouging, and you have this pull away and no wage increase. Then what happens is you say, well, I need to live off credit cards, right? So I better get credit cards or loans in order to make the difference up, because I can't eat under Joe Biden. It costs too much. Well, guess where the credit comes from? It comes from the Federal Reserve as well. So Citicorp, MasterCard, Visa, Discover, they get the money to lend in credit from the Federal Reserve out of thin air again. Just out of thin air. All right, now your chat's right. Yeah. And so like you say, well, I'm getting a credit card for $300. When they lend out $500 million of money, the average, I think it was 31% default. So because they get it for a 1% interest rate from the Federal Reserve, then they charge you 39% now on a credit card, 30%, 26%, because they're all based out of Delaware, the only state that legally allows you to do that shit. Every other state says it's a crime. So like I'm in Indiana, usury laws stop at 10% or you go to jail, right? Well, in Delaware, it can go up as high. There's no limit. They don't give a fuck. And so all the credit card companies are out of either there, or I think there might be one other province, probably fucking some bullshit. I think there's only one or two. And then what they do is they jack up the rates. So they ask so they say, well, I'm Visa. So I'm going to get $10 billion in credit to lend out from the Federal Reserve. So you put a request into the Federal Reserve. They give you $10 billion to lend out with a 1% interest rate. So what they do is they say, well, we'll give it out to a bunch of fucking deadbeats, $300 cards at 30% interest. Well, they're making 29% interest plus what they're giving out. Then what they do is they already expect a third of the people to not fucking pay their debt. They write it off. It's just built into their system. So then they'll go out there, they'll sell the debt, and they'll make a little bit more money, even though they've already written it off. And then these debt collectors buy it for pennies on the dollar and sue you for the full amount. And generally the courts have contracts with the companies that lent the money, mainly the reserves, and they'll just charge you and backtrace it to the company that pays them. And so it's hand over fist. So if you default, we make money selling it. And if you pay it, we make money raping you on the interest. And then also I can become a debt collector and I can right now pay $1,000 and buy $1 million in debt and start harassing people on the phone to pay me personally. Otherwise I'll sue them for a couple $100 and they'll just empty your bank account. And I've had that happen to me. I've been in line at the grocery store and said, oh, I have $1,000 in the bank, tried to buy something for my kid. They've taken it all. Well, how did that happen? Because the court said they could get into it and I have to fight for it. They take first and then we fight later, right? So we make sure the company gets their money. And it's not even a company. It's some fly-by-night that bought it out in Arizona. But he put $1,000 into $1 million. And it's like, well, how much did you buy the debt for? Well, I bought the debt for $8. So why are you suing me for $1,000? You bought the debt for $8. Well, that's not an argument. Well, it is. I only owe you $8, you piece of shit. How much did you pay for? $8. Then fuck yourself. Here, take a 10. Keep the change, dumb fuck. But courts don't see it that way. So at court, the middle class is the pay me class. And so this is what you do here. You're living in this cycle. So the courts, the cult of Saturn, is in bed with the corporations, and the Federal Reserve controls all this as a Ponzi scheme. So the credit companies and the currency system are run off this fiat bullshit, right? And then the courts are the enforcers of the fiat. And then your job is also the enforcers of tax. So it's like a middle pyramid with two other pyramids on the side. So you have your financial godhead that these assholes worship, which is the Federal Reserve and their shitty system. And then you have the enforcers who won't throw you in jail. They used to, but they'll shellac you and make you bankrupt. You can file bankruptcy, but only once every 7 years, so they can fuck you in between. Which they're trying to change to 10, by the way, because they're pieces of shit. Then over here, you have your wages, your job. So I work, and that connects to the courts. They can garnish your wages at work. Walt, you see what I'm saying? It always is a triangle, isn't it? Isn't that funny? The all-seeing eye, it's always like that. How odd that it's like that. I just don't understand. Like, why is everything the same? Why? Why is everything the same? Why is everything the same? Why is everything the same? I don't know what to tell you. Take you, Ruthie, Nana, and Nostalgic. You know what I'm saying? Hi, baby. Why is everything the same? It's, it's like, BG. He's leaving. What's up, B? I thought everybody else... Good night, BG. Can I say goodnight, John Boy? Like fucking, was it Little House on the Prairie? Is that what it was? And so that's why you need to write off the debt. But they won't do it because you have the Supreme Court that's trying to handle and save the Federal Reserve. And so in order to combat this, you need to take all of your financial systems that you have, and chop them away from the Federal Reserve and ban the Federal Reserve. And you need to take all your commodities that you have in America and base your currency off of that. The system is too great to have a system, it's based off just gold or silver, right? It's too much money for that. So when you say, okay, we need an economy with commodities worth about 10 to 20 trillion dollars. I'd say in between that somewhere. And you say, well, if we do gold and silver, we'll make about $1.5 trillion. Well, we're a little short. So you need to start using copper, steel, aluminum, tungsten, lithium, cadmium, fucking wheat, your food supply, oil, all this shit that are commodities. Sorry, my ear itches. You need to use that as a backing of your currency. And so what that'll do is now you have a currency that's based on markets rather than fiat making it up for interest on a Ponzi scheme. And so that's really what you want to do is after initial probably 1.5 years of horrible financial decline, it'll stabilize, right? So you'll go through a depression. Getting rid of the Federal Reserve, you'll go into a depression. There's no debate on that, right? You'll drop your economy about 29 to 35%. There's no debate on that. I would argue not 50. You're damn right, Uncle Dickie. The other app, TikTok's a piece of fucking shit. And so what we need to do here is you say, we'll take the depression for 1.5 years or a year, and then we'll, thank you, Vegas. What's up, Vegas? Thank you for the $5. Yeah, we made $89.97. We actually get to keep 70% of it here. Yeah, fuck TikTok, man. You get to keep 70% here. Look, so what I'll do is, since TikTok is fucked up, but anyway, we need to get off the Federal Reserve and put it in commodities-based currency. And then basically the amount of profit, the amount of like gain we can generate is what the value of our currency is. But you also have to be prepared to live with less money that's worth more. So you say, well, I make $110,000 a year. Well, I'm going to pay you $52,000 a year, and it'll be worth double what it's worth, right? So a movie won't, with me, wife, and 2 kids, cost $120 for the whole thing, right? Give or take, $80. $80. We'll make that movie trip $35 because the money will be worth that. A Coke won't be $2 in a bottle. It'll be 79 cents. You see? And then the prices will lower, but you also won't make as much. So like minimum wage, $10 an hour, should be able to afford a place to live. You know what I mean? Some apartment somewhere. And if you make $15 an hour, a 3-bedroom apartment or a small home. $20 an hour, a decent home. $30 an hour, that's pushing it. You're going to have a fucking near mansion, right? Instead of a house that's $600,000 and looks like a fucking hovel in Santa Monica. And so this is the type of shit we need to be doing here and saying, hey, look, there's got to be a way to fucking, do better. And we're not. We're just fucking the country up. And so that's the news. Oh, by the way, just want to throw this out here. Russia has been striking Ukraine all day, blowing up shit. Not as bad, though, as Ukraine blew up a fucking giant military base in Kiev. I'll go back to X and find it real quick. Also, the state of Texas made it so illegal aliens won't be able to... They won't be able to get in-state tuition in Texas. So let's read what's going on here. Vegas, I'm glad you're here. Minimum wage was never meant to raise a family. That's 100% correct. So the city, Russia has launched a full-scale air attack on Kiev. This is suggesting, this is an hour ago, this is the most devastating attack of the war so far, as entire city blocks are burning. Kiev, Ukraine is under heavy bombardment from explosions. Now, I'll be able to put video of that here on YouTube. So I'll make a video here in a minute and put this on YouTube of the footage that I'm getting here on X of Kiev burning. Massive attacks have been, obviously earlier, Russia was attacked again at another air base after Zelensky has been begging to not. And then here we have, I have a live feed right here. Reports indicate out of Russia, they have mobilized strategic Tu-95 and Tu-160 strategic bombers that are now in the air. So they are in the air. This is breaking news. There is no question. What? Oh, thank you, SJF. What's up, America? Now, of course, Russia's been striking bit by bit all day. And then we have Putin said he would respond. Lindsey Graham got involved. Kiev is under major assault right now. It's looking like entire sectors of the city are being bombed. Shark alive, hell yes. And so once again, I'm saying that the United States is not the enemy of Russia, nor was it ever the enemy of Russia. Same with the Chinese. And I would like to formally, as an American, say the Russians and the Chinese are welcome, except spies. We don't want that. But welcome here in the United States, specifically Russia, because I would like to make trade negotiations with Russia. I think that would be a much better idea. Once you finally occupy Kiev, we need to do commerce with you again. And so that being the case, same with China. If you decide to go after Taiwan, once that's all ironed out and whatever it is, we'd like to do commerce with you again. And so we'd like to stay out of that horse shit and just watch it from afar. I know it's unfortunate. The Ukrainians have been punching up for quite some time. I know you have a bunch of Ukrainophiles in here that are really supportive of it. You know that Ukraine never had a chance to win. You know that for a fact. They were never going to take Moscow. And so it's no skin off the game. I know you like to go for an underdog. Who doesn't? But in this particular case, the Russians are stepping up their game. And we have heard the term strategic nuclear weapons thrown around in the last couple of hours, what I've seen on X. If you go on X and look up Kiev, you can see the major portions of the city on fire as I'm talking to you, and it's looking quite bad as more than one wave of bombers are basically headed. Now, of course, as you know, this stems from 5 hours ago. The Ukrainians destroyed a ballistic missile launcher series of systems in Bryansk overnight, which were the, I can't remember the names of the missiles, the big Iskanders. So they destroyed a base that had Iskander missiles, and now the Russians are not taking it. And so Russia is attacking very far, very hard. Ukraine is coming under fire. This may, at this point right here that I'm talking to you, this may be the catalyst and the point where NATO gets involved. And if that's the case, then of course we're going into WW3. I'm going to very politely ask that the United States stay the fuck out of this. There's nothing wrong with finally sitting out a major war. We've been in every conflict since World War II. It's time to sit this one out. I fully support not being a part of this conflict and finally growing evolutionary gain. 99.96 is what we've made so far. Fucking hell. Man, fuck TikTok. God damn. I mean, really, fuck TikTok, dude. And so I'll keep you up to date on that. I'll put a video on TikTok about it happening, but there's such dipshits over there that you can't say anything or show it. Yeah, I want to sit out the war. I think neutrality is the best here. While these fuckers start blasting each other, we need to grow our presence. So this is the last thing I'll say before I end with some music, but not YouTube music. I have to make my own music now, and I'll do that. I don't give a fuck because I already got a whole thing of music I've already made. So I believe that it would be much better if the United States shored up a new empire of sorts along with China and Russia and made this a tripolar system that's, what do you want to call it? Spheres of influence, tripolar spheres of influence. So the Russian sphere of influence is obviously going to be large, but kind of ineffective because they're just the smallest of them financially. And so Russia, Central Asia, and of course Eastern Europe would be a nice carve out of Russia. That should be enough land for an empire. China, on the other hand, would be China, North Korea, South Korea, Taiwan, maybe the Philippines. I highly doubt the Philippines. That would be more on our side. Then, of course, China can take the sphere of influence down through Southeast Asia, Central East Asia, and, of course, Indonesia, Malaysia, Borneo, New Guinea, all that type of stuff. And then, of course, your Belt and Road going through Central Asia and Africa, et cetera, et cetera. The United States empire, of course, would include Western Europe, much to our chagrin in some cases. If we could leave a couple out, I wouldn't be sad. Greenland, Iceland, the United States, Canada, Mexico, all the way to Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, not Peru. Nothing. Anyway, and then, of course, Hawaii, most of the Pacific Islands up to Alaska, include Japan, include the Philippines, and then down Australia and New Zealand. and then the rest, and then South America, we have Argentina, Chile, Peru and Ecuador, and then your side, the Chinese, can have Brazil, Venezuela, and a lot of the French Guiana, Suriname, that type of thing. Or you can just say Monroe Doctrine and call it a day. I think Brazil's a little too left-leaning to be on our side. Same with Venezuela, frankly. We don't need to be in wars with people. Cuba, we stop the embargo, have them come on our side, start building it up. But not like where it's like walls where Russia and China can't come in. We're still doing trade. So there's American ships in Cuba, but there's also Chinese trade coming in. And fucking Russian trade coming in. But there's American casinos, American titty bars, American this, that, or the other, and vacations, but also Chinese businessmen. And then there's American companies in Hong Kong, and there's Russian companies in Japan, and et cetera, et cetera. And we just kind of spread it out like this, rather than beat the shit out of each other and bomb each other. But, yeah, America, Russia, I would say America, China. I'd like to see them get kind of ironed out with the human rights shit. Not like Russia doesn't have it, not like we don't have it. Then the Middle East, obviously, whether you like it or not, we're going to keep probably supporting Israel. And then China and Russia can divvy up. We'll be friends with Saudi Arabia too, and Qatar, Bahrain, yada, yada, yada. And then they can split the other ones. Russia and China can have, like kind of low-key kind of influence over Iran because they're kind of a rogue state at this point until Persia's reinstated. And that's what it is. But right now, you have Europe trying to virtue signal away into World War III. And so that's my opinion. Sorry if you didn't like that, but that's my opinion on it. 10 people dropped out because I said something. What do you want from me? I don't want war. Why do you? That's my whole notion on this. I don't know why people want war. I don't really want war. You know what I mean? Well, don't we want to fight? Not really. I'd like to find a better way besides blowing each other up. Aren't you supposed to beat your weapons into plowshares? Right? Well, why are everybody fucking killing each other? Bunch of fucking dumbasses. Anyway, it's 10:30 at night. Been gone from TikTok for a week now. Yeah, so on TikTok, they banned me for misinformation on the Hello America Sup account because I said that, what live on YouTube? Because I said that that our world leaders were devil worshippers. So that was a week ban on TikTok. So then on the other one, if I say on TikTok, I don't even say anything. I didn't even say a word. I think I said the name of a news agency, didn't I? I said like the...
You were talking about Trump and Xi.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Trump and Xi Jinping, and TikTok said I was sending people off-site. And so it was restricted. And so I said no, I appealed it, and they said nope, we're not approving your appeal. You said people were going off-site. And I'm like, no, I didn't, you fucking dipshits. You're lying. You're just fucking lying. And so so this has been happening for 2 days on TikTok. And so you deleted it? Fuck yeah. And so I was like, fuck TikTok. This is stupid. If you go on, like Trump's tie that was on there, he had only 2 people watching, and then 1, and it was me. Yeah, I've gotten a violation every single day on TikTok from some dumb fucking reason. And then it used to be you'd appeal it, and now it's just like, nope, everything's a violation. No matter what it is, what we say goes, and fuck you. And it's like, gee, I can't believe you're still a functioning platform. Holy shit, man. TikTok is a piece of shit. I got a violation for saying Kamala was drunk. The only thing I got a violation on YouTube, and that'll be gone pretty soon, won't it? Is I made a video where it had a bunch of bears that were waving like this. And I made it have the German Erica song in the background. And I was like, I was making fun of Nazis. And they're like, no, you can't show that. I'm like, why? I was like, it's funny. And they're like, I know it's funny. And everybody on Twitter was like, what the fuck, man? And they were talking, but they're like, it could. And I'm like, okay, I won't put the bears up then. All right, I was trying to make fun of Nazis, all right? So I'm sorry if I ruffled your feathers. But I thought it was funny. You know what I'm saying? It's on my Twitter. If you go on my X at Hello America Sup on X, You can see it somewhere. And I was just like, well, it's, I'm not I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I'm just saying that, like, X is kind of like, X only promotes you if you pay them. Like, the secret of X is how much do you pay a month for your account. Up in my area, yeah, it was down in Tennessee, man. It was in Gatlinburg at one of the people, yeah,
Right next to the jelly store.
right next to the jelly store. Exactly. God, I still have some of that jelly. That's nice. By the way, can I review weed on here? Like, I saw people doing that. Are you allowed to review weed? Like, I've seen people do it. Is that restricted to over 18? I would do that. No. You're like, no. I'm still learning the rules. I'm a new here. I have less than 10,000 followers. I only have 5,000 followers. So I'm learning on YouTube. So YouTube, please bear with me. I know this isn't Omegle, thank God. I'm sure you got a little more class than that. So, yeah, God, Omegle is like, hi, do you want me to say a racial slur or show you my asshole? Which is it? And it's like, I'd like neither, please. And I noticed you didn't wipe well also, so thanks for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Jesus Christ. Born in 83, grew up with Cypress Hill. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. Like, I have no compunction. Like, I don't, like with the weed thing, I don't give a fuck what the law is. I could care fucking less. It does not mean anything to me. I know it probably should. But, like, the back and forth, some states it's legal, others aren't, blah, blah. This is so fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. So what I'll do tomorrow is I'll do the same thing where I'll go on TikTok. I'll get everybody to come on. A couple hundred people come on, or maybe 150. And of course, immediately they'll restrict me for absolutely nothing. And so I'll say, okay, well, let's go to YouTube. And then we'll do like we did today. And then eventually we'll just go only on the big account. And because when that comes back, and then I'll try to kind of bring people to YouTube. So I've got 10,000 followers on TikTok or something, 200 whatever fucking thousand. But I'm trying to bring them from there to here. That's my goal. So, but TikTok is actively working against that because they're a piece of shit. So, thank you SJF for everybody. Yes. So what I want to do is I don't know how to get, like, I make videos. So I'll make videos and you'll get 100 people that follow you, and then that's it because TikTok doesn't want anybody seeing it.
She was actually saying thank you to SJF.
Oh, thank you to SJF. Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't have to say it. I'm so tripped. And so that's what it is. But yeah, don't you agree? I can say more shit here. Like, how about this? I believe is what's that called? And I'll go into this more tomorrow. I believe that Sharia law is a threat to the Western world and Christianity. That's just my opinion on that. So, what happened to Nana?
She thinks she has seizures. She has to go.
Oh, yeah, I have seizures too. I need to work on that. I have undiagnosed seizures I've been sitting here dealing with for quite some time. But yeah, I can talk about weed. YouTube is much freer than TikTok. And this is what I've been trying to tell people. The only thing you can't do on YouTube is play copywritten music, which is a major problem. So, I make my own music. Not that song. That song sucks. So let's see what I made here. Nope. How about Soft Gangsta Anthem? Nope, that sucks. Nope, that sucks. Or should I just use the shit that they have? I mean, no, you can. It's just non-monetized, can't you? Or does it cut you off?
I don't know.
I have my chat taken up. What, they cut you off? Okay, yeah, so that's the one thing. But do you give a fuck about the music in reference to talking about politics? Or would you rather, like... I'm in a bind here because it's like TikTok offers the copy, like you can play copywritten music, but it's a piece of shit. You can't even talk on it. Here, I can make my own background music. I do it every day. some of them are quite fucked up. But yeah, follow me here on YouTube. Hello America Sup. Follow me on TikTok as well, I guess. At the same shit. If you got $1 to make it $100, let me know. Or it's 4 cents away. But thank you guys for being here because that was awesome. I can't believe that I actually get to keep more of the money here than on TikTok. So that really made me happy. And the fact that 64 people here at max, that's huge considering YouTube is much more difficult than TikTok. So if I even had half the people here, which I pretty much did from the other account, so I was very happy with that. And we got into the news. I'm sorry to yell at TikTok so much, but they really are a fucking turd. Hell yeah, who did? Thank you, Uncle Dickie. Yes, 196 cents. That's $101. But yes, you guys are awesome. But compared to TikTok, it's like I can speak more here. I can say gun, rape, sexual assault. I can say fucking just words. I can say hard R. But I'm not going to just because I'll be nice. You know what I'm saying? Why not? You know what I mean? No big deal. But why is it that they're so harsh over there? What the... This is what happens when you censor people. Is the extremism becomes a beautiful thing then. You see what I mean? So that's what happens. So anyway, I'll make a video on TikTok about the war starting pretty much. And then I'll make a video with the actual footage here on YouTube. So in case you don't know, I have other like I don't have all my TikTok videos up here. I need to finish that tonight. But I'll make some... that Russia video. I'll actually do that first here and show you the footage before I say it on TikTok. And then that's the way it'll be. So I'll be back tomorrow. Real quick, I have no idea how to shut this live stream off yet. And yeah, there's an X, but I don't know if it just said, like, I don't know what it does. So we're going to find out. Thumbs up the live stream if you can. We're almost at 60. I'm assuming 100 is probably some kind of threshold, being we're here in the Western world, but I'm not going to stay for that. But if you could thumbs up the live stream, that would be a class act, and that means it would be very big down below for you. So, yeah, that's what's going on. Russia's blowing up Ukraine, and now somebody thumbs down it. God damn it. Oh, well, anyway, don't forget to subscribe. I don't give a fuck. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, 61. Hell yeah. Oh, thank you, my friends. So don't forget to subscribe, share, like, hit the notification button. I'm sure there's trolls on YouTube, but it doesn't seem to be quite as shitty here. And I can cuss more and say things that we're all thinking, and I'd like to see a lot of immigrants kicked out. So don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff. I'll be back tomorrow on TikTok and then here. If you don't like me, block me and go fuck yourself. See you later.